Morning, Father's Day weekend. How was your weekend, brother? Good?
Oh, it was amazing, man. Yeah, it was amazing. How about you?
It was good. It was good. I don't know about you, but I'm wondering where summer is. Um, I,
I
uh, I can't tell. Like went to a friend's place on Saturday night, and we were sitting down. They got a little creek that runs through their property, and they got a little like landing there, and we had a fire down there, and we were sitting there relaxing. And I'll tell you, DJ, it was cold as hell. And like
really.
we're at the end of June. Like I'm used to sitting like at nighttime, still just sitting there sweating because it's so hot. But it was cold, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what's
It's been
happening
the
here,
weather's been
brother.
really crazy. I agree. Yeah,
It
yesterday
has.
was
It
a little
has.
bit
It has.
different, but
Yeah, it's just yeah. So I mean, you know what? Whatever. I mean, the plants are still living. My grass is still green, which is good because normally by now it's like hay, but you're like watering it every day. But to it, brother. Mayhem Monday today, and we are going to pick the topic live.
let's do it.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
All right, brother. Are you ready?
All
Are you
right,
ready for this, my man?
ready.
All right.
Let's do it. There. Yep.
Okay.
Come
So
on.
this is actually YouTube. Yeah, okay, this actually works. So
Fun.
when I say this works because I've got YT, meaning I did this on YouTube on 2/25, so February 25th, I did this on YouTube. Because what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get all of our
Content.
shows on all the different shows that we've done it on. So this one's actually really cool. Everything is about content, and it's like we had Anthony on.
Yeah.
We've had so many people on. We've had John Brewer on who talks about content all the time.
Hmm.
Um, John Brewer talks about who told us, your LinkedIn profile is pretty much your resume.
Yes.
Greg, who was on, who said, I always go to social profiles and look at people and who they are. And so a couple of the things that I wrote down when it comes to everything is about content. This is an idea and strategy Nicole Glenn gave me from
Mm.
Candor Expedite.
Shout out
Um,
Nicole.
yeah,
She's
definitely
killing it.
100%. So do you remember when we did the 30-day plan?
Yeah.
And what I'll do for everybody watching and listening is in the show notes, I'll put the 30-day plan. So what I did is I asked 10 multi-million dollar producers in the industry, if you lost everything, like literally you woke up tomorrow, you had a computer and a phone, that was it. No contacts, both on supplier and customer side,
Yeah.
nothing. Like none of your old customers. What would you do in the first 30 days to build your business back to a multi-million dollar level? Now, not
Mm.
necessarily saying closing multi-millions of dollars in business in 30 days,
Yeah.
but you had all your
Get it
knowledge,
going.
a phone and a computer. What would you do? And Nicole, the first thing Nicole said was, she said, well, three things. One, I would figure out exactly the type of company I wanted to work for. So she actually talked about creating a company profile before you create a customer profile to know which company you actually want to work for. But her third one was content.
Mm.
Everything is about content. If you have good content, you will attract customers. And it's funny because that statement, when was that? That was probably,
That,
I'm going to think it was October last year that we put that out. Like when I
mm.
interviewed everybody, maybe September, October last year. So I
Yeah,
started
I
looking
think it
at it
was.
and I was like, wow, you look at some of the top producers and the content they put out is about becoming more than a sales rep,
Yeah.
right? We talked about this
Yep.
many times where it was, be something other than a sales rep. Like if you're just calling somebody and you're a sales rep, you're not going to get very far. But if you're a solutions provider, all this other kind of stuff, and they're not just jazz words that people come like, be who you say you're going to be, right? Um, Two, express who you really are, become more than your career. And
Mm.
DJ, I think number three is a really, really, really big one. And I do think, COVID and restrictions and all that have ushered that in pretty quick where we become more than our career. Like, I know
Yeah.
for the first probably decade and a half of my business life in this industry, I was my career. Like I was
Mhm.
defined by the results I got. And when results weren't there, it was a crushing blow.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I agree
Yeah.
completely. My
Mhm.
chat, just a heads up though, my chat is not working, so I don't know if you have a chat, but
No,
um,
my chat, there's been zero chat, zero good morning, zero nothing. So I don't know if this is a restream issue again.
yeah, it might be.
Um,
But yeah, I have no. It says actually, it says looks like your embedded link is invalid. Not sure.
yeah, okay, that's great. Another beauty situation going on with the restream. You know, oh, and all people are going to see this on the replay. So let's deliver,
That's
brother.
right.
So
Yep.
everything is about content. So in your opinion, DJ, what kind of content should a sales rep be putting out?
I mean, they have to start with their true, have to put out what they're truly behind and what they're truly believing. I think that's the first key. I mean, whatever you're putting out, you have to. I feel like most people are afraid to put out certain things or say certain things that they maybe even truly believe in because they're afraid of the response. And I think that's part of the issue with social media and everybody following certain trends or certain things to say instead of just being them. Being genuine, showing yourself, showing a lot of the people on the show do a great job. I mean, Hayden with his kids, Trey with, just showing everything around you and who you are and what you're about. I think is the big key. Sales, it's not just well, my company does this or we can do this for you. You got to go deeper. I think the people who really go deeper than that are the ones who really connect better with clients. I mean, that's I've seen it myself. I mean, I've seen it myself. I was never a big content person on any platform prior to this, um, but just
I'm
share.
still not. Like I know we have our show,
Yeah,
but I still have an issue like taking pictures of my
yeah,
kids and or
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've always been a and I don't know, maybe it's to my detriment. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, DJ, but I've always been that's why LinkedIn is probably the biggest. Like if you go to social profiles, you won't see a personal profile from me. And not and here's the thing, it's not that I don't like social media. It's and I don't want to make this sound like, oh Dan, but I've got so much going on. Like I just don't feel I have time to sit there and
Mm,
post personal stuff. Right?
yeah,
It's business. It's great content because it's great stories, it's strategy, it's ability to help people. But I just feel like even though content is everything, what content can I post to help people get to where they want to go?
yeah,
Like again, the mission, right? We
yeah,
go back, and this is the conversation I had with Nicole. I said, "Well, what kind of content would you produce?" She goes, "What's the mission? Like, what's the mission? If it's to
yeah,
bring awareness to something, what's then you post content about that mission. If it's and that's where I kind of came up with the DD5, the sales strategy, the personal development, industry news, productivity,
exactly.
sustainability.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm talking with Anthony, who was like a LinkedIn guru, and he's like, you got to get
yes,
on TikTok, you got to do this, you got to do that, and I'm just like, and maybe that's why people have social media people that actually do this. Like Gary Vee has 12 people in his social
yes.
media
You got a
team
team.
that
These
post
guys have
content.
teams. I mean, eventually,
Yeah.
yeah, you get to a point you need a team to do it.
Well, because I mean, at a certain point, you've got so many things going on during the day, you don't have time to post. But for right now, I would say to a sales rep, post, and we've said this before, and I know Ryan said actually, we got a ton of comments here. Ryan said he's on Facebook and he sees you guys great. Morning, and I was first. Jeff says. Jeff says. Jeff says LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not working. However, I am seeing comments. Okay, so
Okay.
Jeff is seeing
Yeah,
comments.
I don't see any
Uh,
comments. So
Cold Mageddon, Dan. So he's been on. Jeff's been on. Yeah. So I have said content is everything. So yeah. So if
yes.
y'all are on LinkedIn watching us, and LinkedIn is not working. I wonder if it's just comments. Join us on YouTube or Facebook. Jump over to YouTube or Facebook and join us if you want, because we seem to be
Yeah, if
getting
you want to comment live, you're trying to watch this live, I'd probably do.
yeah. So we seem to be getting it on Facebook and YouTube. So yes. content is everything.
It really is.
Think of it like this. So here's as a professional sales rep, here would be my first suggestion to you. If a prospect went to and I'll call it LinkedIn, went to your LinkedIn profile and hit on posts, right? Posts and activity. Would what they see help you be seen as a professional in their eyes, a complainer, somebody who is a lot of work? Because again, let's call a spade, right? When you meet somebody, friend, colleague, whatever, if they are a lot of work, like if it's effort, and right, DJ, call a spade a spade. If it's effort, you separate pretty quick. If it's easy and they're easy to get along with, and all this, it's a completely different story. So, like, how will somebody see what you post, the comments you share? Are you positive? Are you negative? Are you complaining about something? Do you share your political views? Like, all of these things go into content. And, so I'll give you a perfect example here. Sorry, DJ.
No,
Jeff,
go ahead.
right? Jeff posts awesome content.
I was going to say the same thing.
Right? Like, keeping people up to date on what's happening. Sharing his I think this is going to happen. Has he always been right? No. But do you even think about the times that he might have been off? No, never, ever. Like, and Jeff's content helps us as professional sales reps say, hey, interesting, forward that to a customer. Hey, look I just came across this. You might want to check it out, right? Like, it's so important, and content is everything. And the future is going to be huge amounts of content. It really is. And I honestly believe that, as a sales rep, if we're not posting content that helps, we're missing a huge opportunity to shorten sales timelines, to create a stronger bond. And for people that are, for lack of a better term, Googling you, for lack of a better term, you have a meeting coming up, they're going to find out exactly who they're using their time for, especially now. Many customers that I've spoke to, I said, what do you do? And they said, well, before the meeting, I check out LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and knowing that the Facebook and Instagram, they go, people use different handles and all that kind of stuff. Whereas LinkedIn, it's typically their name, as opposed to, every other thing on Facebook, it could be, a kind of username or whatever, but they try and find that, and they look at a few things, and they determine if you're trustworthy, if you're ahead of the game, if you're a professional.
Dan, let me ask you that, because when we have meetings of guests on the show, or I'm talking to people, I will do that as well. I go right to their LinkedIn post, go to their activity, go 100%. To post, and check and just see. And really, I think the best thing content does, especially if you're genuinely just sharing genuine content that you truly stand behind. Or, again, back to Jeff's information. Informative and really just going next level like Jeff does with his. You can't beat that. When it's bringing true value to anybody who's reading it, that's content. But on the other side of funneling and really finding your ideal, one of the things I love about it is I feel like sharing the content that I share kind of helps like funnel in those ideal clients, because they just love the vibe and they're there, and then that's and so really
I often in a lot of my prospecting, I'll put my LinkedIn URL. Hey, check out my LinkedIn posts, and I go to like post LinkedIn posts and activity, and I copy that URL and I put it in my email, and I say, hey, listen, feel free to check me out. This is not a sales email that has no depth to it and no foundation to it. This is reality. I'd like to talk about something Ryan said here. He said, I feel like it's hard to do content on LinkedIn just because I always found that specifically my prospect customers don't use it. So here's the thing with that, Ryan. They might not post, but almost every single customer I've spoken to, like every single shipper, and I try to speak to 50 or 60 a week just because, scheduling people for the show and this and that. They actually look you up on LinkedIn. They might not post, and that has a lot to do with some company policies and that kind of stuff. Like there's, like Ryan introduced me to a gentleman who was the traffic manager for a poultry company. And he started posting a lot of content. And eventually his company said, hey, whoa, you got to stop that, because it's like, and I know when I was working corporately, I was posting content and I got told to stop, because if you fly a flag, they have to be, like some people want to protect that
Yes.
perception of the flag, right? So I disagree with it, but it's the reality that most companies do. So actually, Ryan, I would assume that every single prospect actually looks you up on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is the primary platform to look somebody up from a professional level. Right, it really is, and that's why Anthony came on for all of our Inception people. Anthony came on, and the entire hour was focused on profile.
Yeah,
how to make your profile stand out, because it is really your resume. And Ryan, the more and more people we speak to, traffic managers, logistics managers, people you're speaking to, all of them have said the first thing I do is go to LinkedIn and look and find out who you are. So it's interesting because, and just like our show. And I'll share with you a personal thing that DJ and I have come across so many times. We'll speak to somebody and they'll be like, dude, I watch your show every day. Never commented, ever.
Yeah.
They watch the show every day. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, really? What did you like about yesterday's show? And they're like, oh my God, this is. I go, what about Mondays? This. And do you like the theme? Oh, yeah, your theme every day. It's freaking cool, man. Like, that's never realizing they're watching in the background.
Yeah, I have no clue. Yeah, I have a few people as well, personal friends and stuff. Shout out to you guys. Thank you. Yeah. Seriously.
Like one of my major mentors in life, he's like, I watch your show almost every lunchtime while I'm eating lunch. I'm like, you do? He goes, yeah, because it's pretty cool. And I'm like, wow, like that's like, you don't think about it, right? So Jeff comes back and Jeff says, yes, and complaining to protect my future clients and my customers, always positive, always. If I have a feeling and believe in it, I post it. Sometimes it's good to be wrong rather than being right. Yeah, because you have an opinion, you have your own.
Yeah, you just share your true opinion. Yeah. But to further on to Ryan's thing, Ryan, and if your customers are current clients aren't using it, I think the advantage you still have, especially you have good content and you have a good following, but is to share some of that in an email to your client, almost like force feeding it to them so they could see. Some of the responses and kind of the action you get as well from your stuff.
Well, and I feel when you share that, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe in the long run it doesn't work, but I'm still testing it. Sharing that content, I believe, shows, hey, this is not just something that when I call you, this is what I believe, and this is something that we put forth to
I'm putting it out
the
there
world
for everybody.
Yeah, and here's the beliefs, and if you go through content, so if you actually, so like every person we have on the show, DJ, I look at their LinkedIn profile, I go over some of their posts, and we've had people that we've scheduled for the show where we've reviewed their posts and stuff, and we've mutually said no, they won't fit in our target market, right? It just excuse me. And I'm wondering if I got.
Yeah, all right.
Talk about a live show, eh?
Yeah. No worries.
So, where we've sat back and we've said, okay, the conversation was okay, but the limits of where the show goes, and we've done that just recently, where we've gotten on and said, okay, here's the demographics of our show, our listeners. You can't go here.
Yeah.
You can't go there. And just as guests, like John Brewer said to us, okay, guys, trade secrets, we can't go there.
Yeah.
And that's a mutual respect between host and guests, right? Hosts have to respect the guests' guidelines, and so do the guests. And, how many times have we sat in backstage before we've gone live and said, okay, so here's the conversation. This is where we got to keep it. This is the focus.
Yeah.
Because it's important. People watch our show to learn specific things, to have conversations about specific things. If we start branching off and talking about absolutely things that are on the other end of the spectrum, some people might be like, yeah, I want to hear about it. And other people are going to be like, what the hell does this have to do with logistics? Right? And it's reality. So we have to keep that. And so if you're a professional sales rep, does your content represent your brand? And I think that's the big question. Does it represent the personal brand you want to share with the market?
Mm-hmm.
Big question, because I almost guarantee most people's content doesn't, right? Like
Mine didn't. I can tell you
yeah.
that. Before really getting involved on this, mine had no
So
relevance to.
before you started this strategy, did you have a strategy for content,
I
or was it
wasn't
just
using
kind of like,
social media at all. I just didn't think that. I thought Facebook was just what it was, and LinkedIn was, like we talked about with Anthony, just a place that you kind of did a resume just in case you needed to look for a job again. I never used it. Never.
well, it's interesting. So I on LinkedIn every night before I go to sleep, I'll spend half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, and I'll search hashtags. And so in the LinkedIn thing, I just kind of type in hashtag logistics, hashtag supply chain, hashtag this, right?
I never thought to
And
do that.
yeah. Jeff says, bless you. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, man. And so I search hashtags, and it's funny because if you go into LinkedIn right now and you search hashtag logistics, 95 to 98% of the content is people like, oh, my company does this, my company does that. Okay. And that's in my opinion, it's a waste of a post.
Yes.
Because nobody really cares what your company does. Like even high performance logistics sales, hands down, nobody gives a shit what we do. But how can you help me?
Yes. What can
How
it do
will
for
it
me?
help what I do? And that is the way that I think posts should be made. And we'll go back to Jeff. And sorry, Jeff, I know we're calling you out, but it's all good, brother. Jeff will say, here's the article, here's what the reality is about, or here's his interpretation of it, and here's what I think.
Yeah.
Here's how it will help.
Well, I'll tell you, even a next step that Jeff usually does, he usually opens the floor to like, hey, who else I want to hear? And will ask for comments and responses to see. I think that's huge too, because he does get some great feedback.
Yeah. And here's the thing, why not? And this is, I think, where sales reps sometimes go wrong. Okay. So I created the reference letter mastery course where I teach sales reps how to get, sell, and use reference letters in their everyday life. Because a lot of sales reps are afraid or don't really know a really cool, almost bulletproof strategy to get reference letters. And I actually started posting those and sharing reference letters before I left the company. And I did it for a specific reason, because I'm not afraid to tell you my customer name. I don't care. I would post the reference letters as like a JPEG. Here's a pretty cool reference letter. Here's what to do. When I created the reference letter mastery course, I gave away the 7 or 8 reference letters of my actual customers. And then a strategy plus templates on reference letters to use. And why not? Who cares? Right? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to take care of my customer. If you can come in and take care of them better than I can to help them achieve their goals, then I don't deserve that customer. Yeah. That's all there is to it. Like, and I understand, well, it's my livelihood. Okay, but then build
that relationship stronger. Build that bulletproof relationship so you don't have to worry about it.
Yes. When do you not call me out? Dan, when do you not call me out? Jeff, it's because
very true,
you,
Jeff.
brother.
Very true.
That's all it is. It's coming out in pure love, brother. It's coming out in pure love. But it's Jeff, you're awesome, man. I don't care what DJ says. Hey. So so it's that that whole content side of it. Yeah. I believe anyways, it has to be a strategy. It just can't be blah. And like,
can't be word vomit and not followed. Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna say verbal diarrhea, but same thing, word vomit. It's got to be okay. What's the intention of this post? If someone were to read this post, what do I want them to do, say, or how do I want them to act? Okay? And some posts aren't necessarily call out. Some posts are just, hey, here's a thought, think about it. Yeah. Some posts are credibility builders. Yeah. Absolutely. So you have a customer or project you did. Hey, I just want to shout out, thank you so much to my customer XYZ. What an amazing project. It's amazing to have a customer work for you. Here's the comment they said about us in the project. Thank you so much. And that's just a brand building thing Maybe you don't even need to call out the customer. Hey, just finished a project for a customer. It's amazing when customers work with you, right? So again, you're identifying your ideal client, customers that actually work with you instead of dictate to you. And then, you know what I mean? So like put those subliminal things, I think, in your content as well. And then, call it out and say, here's the beauty of what just happened. That's a brand builder. A call to action is, hey, sales reps, you want to learn how to get reference letters, use, sell, and really like bulletproof way to get reference letters? Check this out. That's a call to action. Like all of it is content. It's just, what do you want the content to do for you? And I think it's a great question to ask. And, when we had Anthony on, I said to Anthony, Anthony, are you frozen, DJ? Oh, DJ must have lost his feed. I don't know what's going on in here, but he's frozen. Now he's gone. So that content, he'll be back in just a second. That content level, the intention behind it, like what are you really trying to do with this piece of content? What are you hoping it starts? Like this, are you hoping it starts a conversation? Are you hoping it delivers on kind of a new philosophy, a new strategy? Are you hoping it builds brand? Are you hoping it attracts the right customer? Like, I think these are key points that we go into when we're creating content. That we go into. It's okay. It's not just a like DJ said, a verbal diarrhea out on online. It's what is it for? What is its purpose? What is it meant to do? And if we can do that, and one thing I learned from a really, really big mentor of mine, 5 things, like no more than 5 things that you want to talk about. And what is it? Is it dog rescue? Is it industry news? Like, what is it? And I don't know if that's DJ. So it's all of these things that we have to look at in order to understand what the content's about, right? And there's DJ. I don't know if that's DJ, actually. It's a black channel. Oh, there we go. You froze on us, brother. Oh. I'll let you jump in there, DJ, and see. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, your video is very, very blocky. So, in the end, not to beat a dead horse, truly use your content to become more than a sales rep. Really use your content to express who you really are, your beliefs, everything like that. Like Jeff said, in a positive manner, and then become more than your career. And I think if you're right there, DJ, you're yellow now. You got 2 bars going on the channels here, but and if you do that, I think you're in a good position to create content. Ryan, to your comment again, I think it's important that we address that again. They might not be on there visible, but I would almost guarantee that they're watching in the background. And again, we'll circle back to the beginning before we end the show. But if there's one thing I can tell you that's been so surprising about this show, we have 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 people, the usual people that comment. There are hundreds in the background that we learn about. I mean, even to the point where I'll be prospecting and I'll call a vice president of sales and they'll say, I watch your show all the time. And never did I even believe that they would watch it. So there's so many people watching in the background. And, there's one thing where it says, act as if somebody's watching, and it's when nobody's watching that your true colors come out. So express who you are as an individual, and that will build your personal brand. And I think a big thing that I have to share is the fact that don't worry about what other people are doing. Just focus on you and stay in your lane. DJ, can you hear us? Yeah, you're not working at all, brother. All right, we're having awesome things this morning. So here's the thing: we'll end the show. Hopefully, DJ's internet will come back, but it's super like he's super choppy. So here's the thing: I'll try and do a DJ for the end of the show for y'all because I know y'all love DJ stuff. Since I was not set up for it, I will use a famous quote from one of my mentors, Brendan Burchard, where he says, "Be bold, fierce, and unrelenting in chasing your dreams." And to me, that quote, I read it every morning because be bold, be fierce, and be unrelenting. You know, we face so many obstacles every day. Don't worry about the obstacles. Just plow through them. Reach your destination, reach your goal. We all have things in life that hit us like a ton of bricks. And it is essential that we focus on what the end results are. Because if we focus on those issues, we'll never get past them. To Daman and the team at Centurion Trucking and American Logistics, God bless you all, and thank you so much for your sponsorship. Thank you so much for your support for the show. We are ecstatic to deliver every day for y'all, and that would be where we're heading out today. And I know DJ's frozen again, but take care, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.
Centurion Trucking, our motto is people before profit. Today's market requires more transparency, consistency, and focus on what our clients need to win. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics are poised to help their clients achieve and surpass their targets. If you're looking for a team that honors your needs, dreams, and aspirations, then get a hold of Daman at American Logistics or Centurion